Friday, February 5th, and I'm here on a trainer in front of a video camera to bring to you my first e-racing experience through the Project Echelon League and the virtual riding platform RGT. Project Echelon has taken some pretty resourceful, innovative steps amidst the pandemic. In 2020, they started the Project Echelon Racing League, which partnered with some marquee road events that were part of USA Cycling's Pro Road Tour. So races like Joe Martin's Stage Race, Tour of American Dairylands, and Redlands Classic now offer this virtual racing experience, which is all made possible through the virtual platform RGT. Before we get too deep into that, I'd like to point out that I am a newly minted member of the Project Echelon road team, which has a really cool story and mission. To explain that better, I'm going to kick it over to Eric Hill, the race director and one of the founders behind this big idea.
It's Eric, first off, tell me about Project Echelon. Give me the 30,000-foot overview of what you guys are all about, what the team does.
Yeah, so Project Echelon was started in 2016 as an effort to use the privileges, the talent, the knowledge of elite athletes to go ahead and empower veterans through physical activity. So really bridge the gap between what's possible for them by making our sponsorships accessible to them, the knowledge about training, nutrition, all of those things accessible to them through the athletes who serve as coaches and mentors to our veterans. If you look at the statistics, an average of 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Our hope is to be able to use this platform to engage and educate our community so that we can make a difference and bring that number down. And we hope that we're a small piece to the puzzle of providing more to our veterans upon their return home.
So Eric Hill mentioned that number 22, and coincidentally we are currently in the middle of our Ride for 22 fundraising campaign, where for the first 22 days of February we are trying to raise $22,000 to donate 22 bikes that will go to 22 veterans. I encourage you guys to check out the links in the video description. There'll be a donation link. Please share this video. I'm going to donate all the revenue made into this cause, so the more you share this around, the more it gets watched, the more money we raise, the more we can put towards this ride to stop suicide and get more veterans on bikes. Okay, so that's real life. Let's get back to virtual life. And we are undergoing the Joe Martin virtual stage race, kicking things off today with the TT. Like I said earlier, all this is made possible through the RGT platform, which has a really cool, unique feature that allows us to race these marquee races exactly the same as we would in real life. So they have what's called the Magic Road feature, where they'll take a GPX file and actually turn it into a virtual course. So that's actually what we're doing here in the Joe Martin stage race. In terms of length and elevation, the TT is exactly the same as the TT that we would race in real life. The road race is the last 45 miles of the road track, and the crit is the exact same downtown Fayetteville crit. So RGT is really kind of stepping up here and allowing us to push forward through racing when we otherwise couldn't. So that all sounds great, but how complicated is this RGT thing? It's not complicated at all. You need essentially two things. You need your riding setup, and then you need a few apps here to get started. My riding setup is the Project Echelon Team Issue Argon 18 nitrogen frame. I've got that on a Wahoo kicker, and I've got a Stages power meter on my bike. No worries if you don't have a smart trainer. It just uses your power to push you through the virtual world. The smart trainer is great for feeling the resistance of climbs and the feedback of drafting, but if you don't have that, you can still participate. It's just without as much feedback. All that is going to communicate with the next thing you need, which is a phone app. Phone app is super easy to download. You just go into your app store, whether it's Android or Apple, download the phone app, make an account. Then the other thing you're going to need is a screen app, which I use on my laptop, but you can also download on the newer Apple TVs or iPads. The phone app is going to connect to your kicker and power meter and heart rate monitor, and it's going to relay all that information into the Screen app, which is going to be your visual as you're riding through this platform. I did a test event on Tuesday. I didn't have any of the RGT stuff set up beforehand. It took about 10 minutes and I was in the race. It is free to start, though the premium package does offer you some more options in terms of what races you can access and events you can do. If you've never used a virtual platform before, or if you're on maybe Zwift, I encourage you to get on RGT because there are some big differences, mostly in the way that RGT tries to make the virtual world as realistic as possible. So they've incorporated and are continually updating their physics algorithms to give you a more realistic feedback with drafting. You know, you have to let up in the corners. You can't just hammer through everything. You're getting feedback on your kicker for elevation changes up and down. It's all there. It's all very engaging and really does take your mind off the fact that, you know, you're in a basement. Let me start off with a couple pointers on what I learned from Tuesday night's race, because Tuesday night event was kind of a warm-up just to expose me to what's gonna happen here tomorrow with the road race. I'm gonna have to try to beat the learning curve here and figure out how this virtual racing kind of works. I did a 45-minute race, which was really hard, and I learned a little bit about the platform. For instance, when you are drafting, up in the top left of your screen there'll be a display of your power, and when you're in the draft you'll actually see how many watts you're saving. It'll tell you that as a number in green, and consequently when you are in a group and maybe pedaling too hard, let's say you only have to be pedaling 200 watts to maintain what the group is doing and you're doing 250, it'll show you that 250 in red, letting you know that you can let up on the pedals and save a little bit. Another thing is when you're in the group and you want to attack, you can't just stand up and start mashing because there's people in front of you. And in RGT, people actually take up space in the virtual game. So you can't just plow through people. You have to wait until you get towards an outside where you can attack. And so there is a bit of a learning curve to this, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite realistic and quite engaging. Another thing I learned from the Tuesday night event was, oh, look at that. They got my name painted on the road. Anyway, one thing I learned from the Tuesday night event was you definitely want to have a fan.
Luke, I am your father.
I did not have one on Tuesday, and we had a pretty good puddle of sweat on the floor. I don't know, I guess that's it. Just wish me luck. I think we're about to go here pretty soon. I am practicing the TT course that we're about to do. 3 miles, 735 feet of climbing, average of 6%. I've been told that it's gonna take about 8 or 9 minutes. I'm prepared to suffer. T-minus 20 seconds. Wish me luck, guys. Big rig engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. Ouchie. Oh. Currently in 9th. Oh, Project. Holy. Okay, so just to recap here, update you guys first with yesterday's stage results. It's Saturday, so we're doing the road race today. Yesterday was the TT. I ended up, let's see here. I ended up 16th overall with a 5.4 watt per kilo average at 10:20. The winner's time was 8:55 at 6.5 watts per kilo. So that's that. Details today, 45 miles, and there's 3,281 feet of climbing on the track. I'll try to keep you guys updated throughout the race.
New e-bike you got?
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm excited. I'm doing a little vlog for this whole stage race thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Minneapolis.
So yeah, it's like a way of life there, right?
Yeah, essentially, you know, we, ever since the Zwift and like RGT races kind of took off, you know, it really replaced a lot of the conventional interval work, right? Like, this is about the 6th weekend I participated in a virtual RGT race. Also, during the week, it provided an opportunity to connect with teammates and colleagues around the country.
So we did the TT yesterday. That was like pretty straightforward. You just put your head down and get to the end. I did like a race on Tuesday just to see what it was all about. So I'm just curious what I can expect here.
So what I think the biggest thing with RGT is it's a lot more like a simulator versus a game. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you used to play Need for Speed, Need for Speed was a forgiving game on the PS2 or the Xbox, right? But then you get into a game like Gran Turismo or Forza,
Right.
you actually have the thing, like there's a lot of, you know, a lot more elements, a lot more algorithms at place. And so RGT, you gotta be more attentive. The corners, you can't push through the corners and just ride steady state the whole race. But these races start out pretty hard, right? They start out, the first 10 minutes are pretty brutal, and then guys seem to settle in.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm at least mentally prepared now. All right, we are about 5 minutes out from the start here. I'm gonna have sticky bar tape by the end of this. I've been told to, quote, be ready to get off the line. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five miles in, almost hitting the first big climb. Sunday, crit day. If the road race started hard, I'm sure the crit's gonna start even harder. Goal for the day, to not get dropped. So I've got the screen app opened on my Mac. Just gotta pull up the app here on my phone and enter the event. 1.2 mile lap, 98 feet of climbing a lap, times that by 25. I've been told that the corners aren't super aggressive, so it should just be pedal fest. And yes, I woke up with hair like this. 30 seconds to go. You gotta ramp it up. I figured this out yesterday. If you don't, you're immediately shot out the back. Go! I forgot to turn the fan on. Well, that was short-lived. All right, that wraps up my first race of the year and my first ever virtual race. Some highs and lows, a bit of a learning curve here. Takes a little bit of getting used to, like the lag of when you put power down and how you're moving through the group. As far as virtual riding goes, the RGT platform is pretty cool. It's real-time drafting update. It lets you know when you're kind of wasting energy, and it kind of takes your mind off the fact that you're on the trainer. It was a good day for it today. It snowed last night, so the roads were wet. Wasn't much of a sacrifice to stay inside, and it's only 12:30, now we're done, so. Not sure how many more of these I'll do. When the weather's bad, I'll probably be back on here If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment box below. Yeah, until next time.